Everybody, we are back. It is Safe on Lodge, favorite podcast, favorite channel, favorite is everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Hit the like button if you don't like it. Hit the like button if you like it. Leave a like button. Hit the like button if you don't like it. Let me start again. So hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at mholder95 for Matt, and of course pandasubs.com. Discount code TDL for 35% off. All right. So, of course, today we're back with the film review for the Chiefs here. So, Raiders play the Chiefs. They almost pulled this game off. They lost 17-19. It was so definitely a heartbreaking game that came down to a snap, and they messed up the snap, or they might have pulled it off. Who knows if Carlson would have made that field goal.
I was gonna say, are we doing any kicker breakdowns today? I feel like that was the real story of the game.
I know nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about the kicker because nobody's like really cares they lost. But Carlson was a big part of this loss. I mean, that's what you watched when you watched the film. It was, he was a huge part of it. But we're not doing any kicker breakdowns or anything like that. Or would I be an expert on figure out why he missed those field goals? So I wouldn't know too much about that.
I feel like he's like the big like he's like the only one. He benefited more than the Chiefs did from the missed snaps. Like no one's talking about him missing 3 field goals, or not as many people as they are talking about like the missed snaps and the illegal shift or whatever it's called. Like everyone kind of forgot about that. And again, if they in a 2-point game, if you leave 9 points on the board, that ends up stinging more than you realize. And he's getting a little bit of a break, but that was a big part of it.
Yeah, a huge part of this game was him missing those field goals. All right, so we're gonna be doing I can't even say, is Lalu, right? Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, it's Jonah Lalu and then Clayvon Chason. We did not, as far as our pronunciation goes, I did not exactly do us any favors with the Polynesian name and the French, but I guess he doesn't pronounce it French or something like that. So, yeah, didn't do us any favors. But two young D linemen who had a couple nice outings for sure.
Yeah, and I am doing Sincere McCormick, and I'm doing Aidan O'Connell. So you look at Aidan O'Connell's game, some of the things that are still there, that are why he still has little upside. What I say, like very small upside, not a little upside, like saying he does have upside. I say a smaller upside, and also some of the good things that he did really well too. So we're gonna be looking at some of those things, but mostly his deep passes because he was 5 for 6.
Yeah,
so mostly looking at his. Yeah, he did pretty well. But a big reason for that was the play action. They did play action like 31% of the time, which I don't know if that's the highest mark of the year. I really haven't looked at Gardner Minshew's versus the Dolphins or the Chiefs. I think those 2 games that Scott Turner called. But I really like what Scott Turner is doing. I think Scott Turner is very gives the quarterbacks a lot of options to throw the football to. Definitely like a lot of levels, like definitely high, low, with maybe a go route or something like that, like the play to Bowers. I'm going to show that throw to Bowers. That was a drive concept with a go route outside of it. So it's like it gives the quarterback a lot of options, and I think O'Connell's picking it up pretty damn well, which is something that is might not make some Raiders fans exciting. I know I saw some Raiders fan who was finding every bad Aidan O'Connell clip and say he's not the starting quarterback because guys are scared. He scared you. It's really what you're is. You're scared.
Yeah.
And you're trying to convince yourself that he won't play like that again. But that the thing is with Aidan O'Connell. Sorry, Matt. Before I go, says the thing is Aidan O'Connell. He might play terrible next week, so you might feel better.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I'm like, this is my thing with Aidan O'Connell is like we've seen this last year from him where he'd have that like one good game. We're like, all right, something's building, something there. He's getting some momentum. And then he'd have like 2 bad games in a row, and we're sitting there like, all right, maybe he's not the guy. And I feel like that's the issue with O'Connell is like we've seen it in these short spurts, but then he just kind of falls off the face of the earth. Like everyone I know wants to keep saying like, why did AP start O'Connell at the beginning of the year? I'm like, he wasn't that good in the beginning of the year. Like we all saw it. We all saw it in the preseason. He was super conservative and in throwing interceptions, which again was a terrible combination. And then this week it seems like he let it loose, and again the results were there. So that's the problem is we need to see it from O'Connell throughout the rest of the year, like consistently, because that's his biggest issue is we see these little flashes and these like 1-game spurts, which are great, but at the same time, we need someone who's going to be consistent, and that's just not who he's been in the year and a half, I guess, that he's been on the team, or almost 2 years now that he's been on the team.
Yeah, because one thing I'm gonna point out is like the intermediate passes with him. I think is still a struggle. He's 1 for 4, um, throwing to like 10 to 20 yards. So yeah, he was great with the deep ball. Of course, the short pass is always going to be there, and he showed some athleticism, um, a little bit. Trying to get out of the pocket, make some plays. So he has more of a willingness to do that. But I think the intermediate game is still an issue for him because he wasn't good there last year, and it wasn't good this game either. So that's gonna be an important aspect. But the run game was working. I'm doing Sincere McCormick. I thought Abdullah had a good game. I thought they ran block did some good run blocking. But I mean, they didn't get good PFF grades. But I think because there was some times where they did get blown up a little bit. A couple times, like DJ Glaze, I'm gonna show a play. He got blown up by Nick Bolton, and a couple times they got blown up a little bit, but I thought consistently as a group, you could tell they're really gelling. And even in pass protection, I thought they did a whole lot better in pass protection. They picked up stunts really well. They did a really good job there. So I thought the offense, probably looked, and that's what I'm saying, like those 3 field goals really hurt because it doesn't show, with the 17 points, but Carlson's been hitting those field goals, since he's been on the damn team. So are you really expecting to make a 55-yard field goal? I mean, that's your expectation. You got that big leg. That's what you're here for, is to make a 55. Like the Raiders get inside the 40. You should feel comfortable with you making a field goal. And, that was a lot of the issues. So it didn't add up to 23 points or even 26 if you made all 3. So, so I still think the offense looks pretty good. And, who sees what they do against the Bucs? The Bucs are going to, stuff them in the run game, probably with Villa. But I thought the offense looked pretty good overall.
I just gotta say, how happy are you that the biggest change I've made was Andre James getting benched, and that seems to be the key for the offense right now. Like ever since that happened, I feel like ever since JPJ took over at center, I feel like the O line has played a lot better, especially in the run game. And I mean, like we talked about before, the communication is much better in pass protection.
Yeah, it's a lot better. They communicate pretty well. Jordan Meredith's playing pretty well. I think Dylan Parham, people get on him a little bit, but I thought he played pretty well this week too. Of course, Court Miller is the steady guy. I think he got beat a couple times with Karlaftis, but one of them was kind of on O'Connell, which I'm going to show that play too, where he got that sack where he kind of faded a little bit there.
Yeah.
So I mean, that made it easier for him to get sacked there, and then. But besides that, man, they're gelling pretty well. And of course, JPJ, I mean, his best block got called a hold, which still pissed me off on the field.
I just remember watching that live, and I'm like, that the whole takedown, where it's a dominant block, that I feel like that's been called a lot this year. I don't know why. That we need to fix that with the officiating, because it's been getting frustrating around the league, where a guy has a great block and finishes it, and they end up calling a holding because the dude ends up on the ground. That's awful.
Just toss that guy like he was nothing and just drove him into the ground afterwards. They called holding, and that's not holding. That's called domination.
Yeah.
Flag for beatdown. 58.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So yeah. I think any problem with the run game was more like Nick Bolton just beating them to the gap. So. Because he's a stud in the run game, but and then Sincere McCormick had a really good game. Hopefully, he got signed today, which is exciting for him. So that's exciting, and then we'll see what happens the rest of the week. But if Madison and Zamir White are healthy, I'm interested to see what they do.
I feel like them signing Sincere McCormick to the active roster on top of him playing well is a sign that that Madison and Zamir White's time is done. Or at least one of those guys is not going to see the field much moving forward, because, I mean, again, the numbers speak for themselves right now, and he looks so much better in the offense than those two, and so much more natural that you can't go back to either one of those guys over him.
Yeah, exactly. I will say before we get to the defense, I think one of the reasons why he took a little while to get on the field is because he can't block. He had a couple opportunities to block, and it just was some bad whiffs there. So
neither can Zamir and Madison. I feel like Zamir, I don't even think they trust him or really have. And then I feel like Madison maybe is better, but not great either. So
yeah. Yeah, I can see that's why he kind of like stayed. People were
But
underwear like
yeah.
why isn't he playing? And it's probably that he's probably in the 1-on-1 drills getting murdered by linebackers. In
Maybe.
training camp.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the defense. You're doing Chason and Lalu.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I was watching him on the Prime Vision, and he was definitely standing out. So I'm happy that you're doing him because he was definitely
Yeah.
standing out in the run game for sure. So, what are your thoughts on them and this overall on the defense?
I mean, like you said, I thought Lalu had a pretty good game against the run. I think if you look at the PFF grades, he was the highest graded player by like a wide margin for on the defense. And I thought the defense played a good game. I mean, holding the Chiefs to 19 points, even though I know they're not the greatest offense this year, is no small task because they still got number 15 back there, who's a pretty damn good quarterback and diced him up a few times. We'll see one pressure from Chason where Chason gets a clean win. He does that little no look throw and finds Watson in the end zone. But I mean, I think we talked about this a little bit on the instant reaction. I felt like the front played pretty well overall. We'll see a few nice plays here from Adam Butler. Javon Merrick is actually playing really well in the box lately, which has kind of been a pleasant surprise. He had one play or a couple plays. One that stood out specifically that we'll see later too is like he had this nice blitz where he gave it to Trey Smith and stood him up at the line of scrimmage, which was pretty awesome to see from a safety. And then on top of it too, the guys we're talking about, Chason was had probably his best game as a pass rusher, had a bunch of wins. They took one of the sacks away from him, and we'll see it. Like I was pissed, like because he literally gets tackled off of Patrick Mahomes, and Mahomes' momentum was stopped. And then Crosby comes in to clean it up, and they give it to Crosby. I'm like, man, like guys, Crosby's got enough sacks. Just give it to the young guy. Give him 2.5 on the day instead of taking it away from him. I was mad about it. I'm like,
Yeah.
let's write a letter to the NFL and complain about that one. But
Change the stat. Yeah, write a letter about.
exactly. Yeah. But I mean, he ended up beating like 3 different offensive tackles, which was pretty impressive to see, and got Wanya Morris benched, which is always a pretty good feeling as a defensive lineman. You're doing something right when they have to pull the guy that you're lining up across from beating consistently. And showed different ways to win too, which was nice to see. So not only beating guys with his bread and butter, which is that little hand swipe move that he's got down pretty well, but also turning some speed to power, and again beating 3 different guys because he got Joe Tooney too when they put Tooney out there. And then as far as Lalu goes, again, just made a few nice plays against the run. I think I've mentioned it a few times where like in the last few weeks he's had like a couple of like plays where I'm like, oh, you're standing out. Like he's doing something right. It just wasn't really like consistent down to down. And he hadn't pieced like it together for me to really dive into him. But I thought today, like he had a much better game, plugging up some gaps. There's one play where the linebackers let him down that he had a really nice rep against Creed Humphrey. But again, like we've been talking about for the majority of this year, young guys are focused for the rest of the season. And he's a dude who was a 7th round pick from the Colts that they claimed off waivers and got cut and is starting for him right now and being a positive player for him, which is good. Good to see for them, especially with Wilkins banged up. They might have found their backup to him at least. So we'll see how it goes for the rest of the season.
Yeah, because that's why I just was looking him up. I was like, yeah, he's a rookie, right? I thought I was trying to remember. Like he's a young player. He's not like a guy that's like going to be, leaving this team anytime soon, right? I mean, he's gonna be a rookie, kind of guy who can grow and maybe become a starting defensive tackle if he keeps playing well. So yeah, I mean, that's what we're looking at the end of this year, just looking at the young guys. I mean, Chase.
It's funny. I had a few people ask me about Lalo. They're like, "Oh, is he going to be back next year?" I'm like, "Well, he's under contract for 2027, so he'll be back for sure." Because they just picked up his contract from the Colts. So yeah, again, guy's gonna be back and gonna be back on a cheap deal for sure. Whereas Chason, a little bit more of a will he be back? Or will they re-sign him? And I think he probably needs another good game. But as far as we looking towards 2025, if they do re-sign Kuntz, I think Chason would be a guy you still can bring back too, and have a good 3rd down rusher. You can never have too many pass rushers, as the Raiders have learned this year. So we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Last question before we go on, because I don't think there's any other Raiders news happening right now besides Brock Bowers being awesome, but we're ready to go over that. But to Cameron Richardson, can you talk about him a little bit, like his game, like because he's getting targeted and he's not doing very well.
Yeah, big receivers are taking advantage of him, which is interesting because he is a taller guy, but he's pretty skinny, and that's what we saw with Cortland Sutton. Like he's He's a taller corner who uniquely is better against the shiftier guys because he's just a better with his movement skills. So he's just getting picked on. I also think he doesn't have the confidence right now. Like there were a couple reps where, like I guess Hopkins, where he got PIs where I didn't think he needed to. He was in decent position, or he looks over the wrong shoulder. So I think part of it's a confidence issue, and when you're not playing well, that obviously gets worse. But yeah, he's just kind of getting bodied up a little bit, and I think the vets that they've been throwing at him, specifically Cortland Sutton and DeAndre Hopkins, have been able to take advantage of him and doing stuff like showing late hands and the little veteran tricks at the top of the route to kind of get him in a blender in a little bit and get him second guessing himself. So he kind of reminds me of where Ja'Cory Bennett was at a little bit last year. Now Bennett was a little bit of a different story, but where it just kind of looks like he's losing a little bit of confidence, and I think people are taking advantage of that, or at least the receivers are taking advantage of that right now. So not as good as we've seen from him since the Bengals game. He was someone who I thought about doing just to kind of show what was going on, but wanted to keep things positive. There's too much negativity right now around the Raiders. We gotta keep everybody uplifted, keep the spirits high.
Exactly. You know, there's all the Shador Sanders versus Cam Ward debates have already started. They're getting heated. One guy, Jamarcus Russell, already for Cam Ward. It's getting heated. It's already. I could already see it, man. They're gonna be fighting and they're gonna take Travis Hunter, and they're all gonna be mad. So I think that's, you know what I mean. And everybody's gonna be pissed anyways at each other. So yeah, it's getting there. We're already in draft mode here in Raider Nation. But that's fine. They're 2-10, and they got the number 2 pick, so it makes sense. But it's fine.
2-10 and eliminated. So not even the biggest optimist can't even have playoff hopes right now.
They have a 5-game winning streak to end the year. Yeah. Oh man, that'll be funny. But anyways, so let's go to defense. Let's do defense first. Let's check out defense.
All right, I'm gonna start with Lalu. This first rep is actually going to be a pass rush rep. Just kind of threw it in there because it was a nice play for him. Steve's running a screen here, and obviously he gets passed off to the tackle with especially with Tyree Wilson dropping into coverage here, so he's working wide. Ends up getting his hands up, getting a nice batted pass here. Again, not a huge great game for him as a pass rusher, but just want to throw that in there as another play he made. This time he's going to go up against Trey Smith, who, again, if you remember from before, is one of the better guards in the NFL. Run a little zone action to him on his side. Looks like a little mid zone where they're trying to attack the B gap where he's at. And he ends up doing a great job standing up. Trey Smith here gets his hands nice and tight and ends up winning to the point where he's in his gap right now. And if Kareem Hunt here keeps going where he's angled at, he'd end up making that tackle. Good, but even better, we got Adam Butler saving the day here a little bit, winning on the backside and ends up making that play. But again, as far as Lalu goes, this is a good rep where, if Hunt if Hunt keeps attacking that gap and stays in the B gap, that's his tackle that he's going to make. Just the only problem is John Jenkins right here, but we'll ignore that part.
Good Lord, John.
Yeah, it was another rough one for old John, but it's all right. He's 35, not going to be on the team anymore.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Another one, I believe this one's going up against Taylor. Now, this was interesting to me because I'm not a huge fan of the alignment here, because if we look at this like pre-snap, we got Crosby, I think that's Zach Carter, I can't forget his first name, Diablo to take care of the A, B, and C gaps on the backside, which is where the Chiefs end up running. Then we have Nose here who can also help in the A gap and the strong side A gap, as well as Spillane. So I'm assuming he's responsible for the C gap here too, which is kind of a weird run fit. And I would like to see him either be head up or outside shade. I don't know if that's just an alignment issue or what, or if that's how they want to play it to disguise it. On top of it too, we have, I think that's Merrick here for the edge, and then the creeper and the safety coming down here to help in the run fit too. So it might look like he kind of gets reached or gets out of his gap, he's actually doing a great job of filling this backside C gap. And you watch Pacheco tries to cut back into it, but then once Lalu shows color in it, now he has to cut backside and ends up getting, it's like a 4-yard gain, but if he's not here, this is gone. I don't think that's Isaiah Paul, like we got the tight end here blocking, I think that's Harper, and then it's just Pacheco one-on-one with Paul Lamau, who I'll take Pacheco in that matchup. Sorry, I PM. But anyway, either way, again, from Lalu, Nice rep here again, going up against Taylor here. Stands him up at the line of scrimmage and ends up holding up his gap, forcing the cutback. This one's what I was talking about. That was a nice rep from Merrick here. Raiders have a numbers advantage, right? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys in the box. Chiefs only have 6 guys to block them. So it looks like they're calling a Zion cutback here to try and either basically root out Lalu and create some space on this side, and then with Spillane being the unblocked guy, either he doesn't make the play or he only makes it for a few yards, several yards down the field.
Mm-hmm.
But what helps is we get a great blitz here from Merrick, who stands up Trey Smith in the gap and takes away this lane from him. And then on top of it too, Lalu's initially going to take on the combo block, does a decent job of absorbing it. Then he ends up standing up Creed Humphrey here, who, again, one of the better players at his position, got paid in the offseason. I think it's the highest paid center in the league now. Mm-hmm. And Lalu does a pretty good job of standing him up. And what that does is force Hunt to kind of run into the back of his offensive lineman here. And then Spillane's able to come unblocked from the backside and end up making the play. Of course, Max Crosby jumps on the pile to get himself a little half tackle.
Trayvon Morag taking on a guard there. I see you.
I know, man. This got me fired up, man. Fired up again.
Yeah,
that was a block. That's how you take on the block.
Yeah, for real, man.
100-pound weight difference, like right there.
Okay.
All right. This one again, going up against Creed Humphrey. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier. Problem is, we watch Spillane here. This time, Trey Smith wins and gets Spillane out of the backside A gap, and then on top of it, our good buddy Divine Diablo gets scooped by a tight end, and then Pacheco's off to the races. But again, we're focusing on the young players at this point. Those 2 guys are free agents. Maybe they're gone in the offseason. And regardless, from Lalu's perspective, going to be lined up as a 2-eye technique inside shade of the guard here. Once he sees that guard work wide, just takes his eyes right to the center. Good hands and good pad level. Like we can see his helmet's under Creed Humphreys. And again, ends up standing up Creed Humphrey at the line of scrimmage and actually resetting the line of scrimmage on this one and forcing that cutback. Just unfortunately, our backside defenders aren't doing a great job. Not a great rep by Adam Butler here, too, who ends up chest to chest with the tackle, which creates that massive lane, and Pacheco's off to the races.
Yeah.
So, but from Lalu's perspective, that's a nice rep against some quality competition. Now, this one, I'm not a huge fan of him getting reached initially, but again, this is kind of a funky run fit here with the overhang play with Trayvon Merrick. Like, it looks like he's got the B gap covered. I don't know if he's just supposed to read Lalu here and just kind of make him right, or if Lalu doesn't have to worry about not getting reached. But again, a little bit weird of a run fit. Mm. And at the end of the day, what I like from him is decent pad level here, got some good hand placement. Then when Hunt here cuts his back, because of that, we're able to get off the block and end up going and make the play. So again, initially kind of an ugly rep, but I don't know if it's that big of a deal with the way they're fitting this. And at the end of the day, he ends up making the play and making the tackle for a short gain. So we'll take it. Now, this one was my favorite. This will be the last one we see from Lalu here. Technically, this is a pass if you want to get real funky on me. But what the Chiefs are doing here is they're trying to kind of faking this little speed option while also giving a little counter look, little GH or GY counter where they pull Smith and the nub tight end here. But they actually end up running a shovel pass inside here. And part of the reason why it gets blown up is if you watch Lalu here against Morris as the 4-eye technique, again, wins at the point of attack. Now he takes a gamble here you see here, like he is responsible for this B gap, and he ends up taking a gamble by working wide. But what he does a great job of is beating Morris across his fate. And since he has control of the block, like you can see, he does what's called closing the gap with the man. Like right now, like there's no crease there. And what that allows him to do is get outside and basically take away 2 gaps and also take on the puller to occupy 2 blockers. And if you watch this Spillane here in the background, he ends up being able to come free to end up making this play. Now, I'm not sure who this is. That Jenkins maybe ends up making a nice play too, winning against Tooney to get involved. Again, from Lolly's perspective, I like this in that Yes, he is gambling. Yes, he is leaving his assignment. But again, we're closing the gap with the man, so we're getting away with it, and we're still not leaving a big crease. And on top of it, too, now we're taking this second guy to help free up a linebacker to help our teammate go make the play. And I think he gets credit for his and gets involvement in this one.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to Chason. Again, nice day here. We'll start with a nice sack from him. This is that hand swipe move that I was talking about. What I like about this move, too, is if you see he kind of gets to square. It's real subtle, but right about here, he kind of gives him a little bit of an inside move. Now, Morris has bad feet, too. But on top of it, that gets him to stop because now he's right at this point, stays on square with them. So Morris has to protect against the inside move, especially with this 4-man slide from the Chiefs. And then we win with the hands, knock that outside hand down. And I mean, this is where he really kind of makes his money. Like you can see him already with that bend to take that efficient path to the quarterback, end up going and getting a sack. See this a few times from this guy. This one, similar play here, it's just on that wide alignment. Actually misses with his little hand swipe here. But again, because he's got great pad level and such good natural bend that he takes that efficient route, and with that short corner that Morris gives them, he's able to get a quarterback hit. Just unfortunately.
Just tosses it.
This is the frustrating Mahomes play. Yeah, just flicks it out there. The one of those no look
across his body. Just like it was.
Yeah.
God,
yeah.
Lord.
And then Jack Jones gives up his 6th touchdown of the year. Also didn't have a good game, but that's besides the point.
That's a lot of touchdowns.
This is the play that got Morris benched, and this is what I was talking about. Where I feel like he should get the sack here because he's the one who technically stops Patrick Mahomes' forward progress. Excuse me. But again, that little hand swipe move. And what I like too is he throws a little Euro step in here to help get to the edge even faster. Again, with Morris, who doesn't have great feet and kind of reaches there, once he swipes that hand down, I mean, this is about as good of a bend, as good of a path to the quarterback as you could take. And that's what I'm talking about, man. He gets tackled off of him. And then Crosby ends up winning on the other side and getting the sack. Crosby stole a sack from Chason.
Yeah.
Guy has too many already, but yeah. Again, Mahomes, they call this for Mahomes' forward progress being stopped. And all Crosby does is come and clean it up to get the stat. And he wins too. But give it to my guy there. Give it to my guy. Now, this rep admittedly is not the best one. We'll see a couple better reps of Chason turning speed to power. But again, when you can win around the edge and then do this and add this to your bag, like you're starting to keep offensive linemen on their toes. Like again, balls out kind of quickly here so he doesn't get the full pressure. You'll see an example of him being able to at least reset the offensive tackle here and start to collapse the pocket. Again, not the best rep. We'll see a couple better ones here, and then the little schoolyard bullshit.
Yeah, stupid.
First down. Which, hey, it worked. Mm-hmm. This time going up against Taylor. Much better rep. This was his half sack. Again, much better job turning speed to power. I mean, you can see Taylor was like waiting. He was waiting for that little hand swipe. Morris might have told him about it when you see 44, watch that hand swipe. He's going to beat you on the edge. And he just never gets his feet set.
Yeah, what was Taylor doing with his feet? Like, what is this like pitter-pat thing?
I'll be honest, man. I remember watching that dude at Florida. First of all, what is this stance? Like, I think maybe in a later rep we'll even see it better because Tyree Wilson's ass kind of blocks it. But, like, I've never seen a stance this narrow. And I felt like he's always done this with his feet. Like, yeah, I don't know. I've never thought that guy was very good. I was surprised when Chiefs signed him.
Okay, anyways.
Yeah. But, yeah. And then on top, what do you know? When he starts with the narrow base, he still has a narrow base. And Chason takes advantage because he turns speed to power.
Wow.
Similar rep here against Taylor. Again, not the cleanest, but throwing a little curveball here and keeping them on their toes. Yeah, see, this is
what is that stance? What is he doing?
I don't know. I've never seen this in the NFL.
What the hell is that? Are they like pitter pats? I'm sorry, I'm really watching Jason, but I just
No. I mean, I thought the same thing too. Yeah, that is a interesting one. But again, Would like to see him finish a little bit better than this one, but still, same thing. We're collapsing the pocket. We're not letting Mahomes finish through on that all the way. But Jack Jones gets beat. Now this one again, the get off isn't great, but what I like about this, the get off isn't great, and it looks like he goes for the hand swipe and doesn't land it again.
Mhm.
But now we turn it into the counter. Now we just turned it into a bull rush. And again, we're going on tuning. We're on the third offensive tackle, and same thing. Like he ends up bumping into Mahomes and collapsing the pocket. So not his calling card, but to have this in your bag as a little nice little counter will keep offensive tackles honest. And you see, like I said, ends up pushing Mahomes in and affecting Mahomes' base. So
Yeah.
the pass ends up falling incomplete, even in light of for Kelsey, who had a pretty damn good game. So
Okay.
again, definitely some things to clean up and to get better at. But as far as Chase on growing as a pass rusher, him winning in a couple different ways and having a couple different moves, and even again 3 different offensive tackles is never a bad day. So it's good day from him, and then Lalu as well, like stepping up against the run. And I know he was a pretty good athlete. That's why Chris Ballard drafted him. So
Yeah.
maybe he can grow into something too.
Yeah, I definitely like Lalu and his reps. I thought like especially being able to even when like sometimes maybe he's freelancing a little bit, he's still able to make that play. So you can tell he's definitely gained his confidence. So definitely some enjoyable film there. I mean, because that's what I'm saying. Like to have a guy like that if you get rid of John Jenkins, right, which is going to happen, right?
Yeah.
That you have maybe a guy who could grow into being kind of that first down run stopper too, that you can mix in with Christian Wilkins when he gets healthy, right? And that's exciting to see because then if he continues to grow, then that kind of knocks off like a position of need in the draft, right? That's
Yeah.
important to me. Like if you see him continue to grow, then maybe you feel like you don't have to like draft somebody super high
Right.
at defensive tackle, right? Kind of save that position for you. So, same thing with like bringing Chase on back. I don't know how much he's going to get. They probably let him see it open, go see his market, and then come back. Because they still got
Yeah.
Malcolm Kuntz on the way back too. But I just think having multiple pass rushers is always a good thing, right? Having depth at that position, so that's a big thing because that knocks off another thing that they want to go get more depth there too. Knocks off another draft thing too. So I think seeing some of these young players grow, and like Chase on still a young player too. You see some of these guys grow, it gives a chance to kind of we don't have to worry about that position in the draft because even with you talk about Jack Jones, right? And then Jacory Bennett had a pretty good year. He was having a pretty good year, but you still think like maybe they gotta get a corner. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like
I would still prioritize a corner in the draft over defensive lineman, especially like you're saying, like especially if you're getting more contributions from those young guys, for sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
they still
So
need a cornerback one. Jack Jones, that's the another takeaway as a side note. Jack Jones is not the cornerback one. Prior or contrary to popular belief heading into the season, not the
yeah,
guy.
because we're not getting the picks either, man. Where's
No,
the interceptions?
you got one garbage time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I need some interceptions. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
if you're gonna be a gambler or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
yeah.
And every time I watch him on tape, like if like the ball gets thrown the other way, you look to his side, he's like beat by like 2 yards. So like that's what scares me sometimes. It scares me like somebody's just gonna target him, but they'd rather go after Richardson at this point. But yeah, he's not really stopping anybody either. So that's what I'm saying. Like you look at that, you're like, okay, maybe they do have to draft a corner, right? And then
Yeah.
that's about Travis Hunter earlier. But like this is what I'm saying, like
Yeah. No, for sure, for sure. I mean, it's frustrating because we talked about it around this time last year. How they needed a corner, and then they didn't get one, or they didn't get one until the fourth round and got Richardson. It was a project, and I think going into it on top of quarterback, probably one of the bigger defensive needs heading into the draft is going to be a corner
yeah,
if
because I
they
mean,
keep especially if they keep Coons if they get to a 1 or 2 year deal done with Coons.
yeah, because I don't know any I mean, I haven't looked at the free agency list that much. I don't know what corners are out there, so we'll see though.
Yeah,
Usually, good corners don't hit the market that much.
no,
No, they do not. All right, so let's get into the offense. All right, so we'll start with Sincere McCormick here first. So we're gonna look at his game. some of his runs here, which I thought that he ran the ball really well. So we start off with this. It looks like outside zone run here, right? You see that the blocking here is done pretty well, but you see right here that Parham is not able to get up to Nick Bolton here, right? He's not able to get to Nick Bolton, so you kind of can see how that works there. That Bolton just kind of zips through this. So I ever get back a little bit. Like Parham's trying to get there, but he just can't. I mean, Bolton sees that gap right here. So that leaves him one-on-one with Sincere McCormick. But McCormick just gives a nice little stiff arm there, right to the face. Still gets 7. So watch one more time here. And get there. Boom, get that stiff arm. Works out right there. All right, so here's another run here. All right, so getting a little pull here from Parham. So Parham's going to pull around the corner here. And you see here on this one, I mean, everybody's winning. I mean, Michael Mayer's winning. JPJ is winning. Jordan Meredith's winning. Everybody's winning here. I'm going to try my little new telestrator thing here. You see this big old hole here, right here. Look at that. Big old hole right there, right? So goes right through there, boom, which he has to show some contact balance there, and he's able to burst through that hole. Makes it work there. So watch one more time here. Boom. Gets right through there. Nice little contact balance. Keeps it moving. All right, next run here. All right, so this one we're getting a little duo here. So on this one, what I liked about this one is just him finding yards, right? I mean, he's just not running into the back of somebody. See here, he kind of stops right here, and he basically has the option basically just to go here, right? Or he can go here, right? He could have maybe tried to cut back. I mean, there is some blocking there, but I mean, I don't think that was really going to work out for him. So he just kind of just went here because Mayer kind of loses his block. Karlaftis kind of rips past him. But I just thought this was a good run. I just thought it's still some good vision, right? If these guys were blocking well, he hits the hole that had to be hit, right? Still ends up getting 3 yards there. All right, next one here. Yeah, here. So now we're getting a little, it's like just a little, one back power here, right? And you're not supposed to bounce power, right? But I mean, if you see where everything's blocked up here, right? You see everything's blocked up right here, right? So only place for him to go is outside here. So he just has to bounce this one outside. I mean, it's really all he can go. It's really all he can do. You see all this little mess right here. This is just a total mess. But he could bounce that one out there. Boom. And what I like about this one is that, Jacoby Myers kind of, lets McDuffie go, but he's just able to outrun him. So you can see a little bit of speed there too. He has. So just let it play here. You see the speed he has to get outside there. Right there, get 11.
Sometimes rules are meant to be broken.
Yeah, they are. If you're gonna break it, you better do that.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. Here is a little mid zone, which I really like about this one. You see here, see what Meredith's doing. Meredith's just beating this dude down. But watch this guy right here. I want you to watch Parham. So Parham pushes him, and what that does is open up this lane right here, right? So that he has this lane. He can kind of basically jump back this way, right? And he's got to do a nice little jump cut. I mean, we haven't seen a good jump cut all year. Boom, look at that jump cut right there. You get 7. That's how you get 7 as a running back right there. You got to have a little bit of jump cuts there because, this is that Drew Tranquil?
No, that's Chanel, yeah.
Yeah, so you see, I mean, he kind of beats Parham to spot, but Parham does a good job of just keep pushing him, and that allows this jump cut right here. So that was a good little run right there. So as I said, he is a natural running back. This is like I've been playing running back my whole life type of stuff. All right. So you see on this one, you get a pull from Meredith here. Meredith's going to pull to the outside. So you can see him kind of basically just go like this, kind of out here. You see Meredith do that. Boom. See him kind of get outside there. but I still like this block though. You see him get some yards here. Boom. And it's just the quick burst there. I mean, Meredith gets in his way a little bit, but you see him, he just keeps moving forward. That's a first down. I mean, this kid can run the ball, man. That's the first thing. Every time I watch this kid, I'm like, damn, he really can run the ball. So here we get a little split zone, right? You get a little split zone. And what I like about this run, you see here, is how he finds that hole right there, like that. You stop it right here. I mean, let me go back a little bit. Right there. Here we go. I mean, there's nowhere to go. Right, you're thinking, where is this going? Where is this going? But you still see there's a good block by Glaze. Glaze is a good block on 56 there. You got to trust that. I think this is Mayer. I think is going to get this block right here on Tranquil, right, and then that hole opens up with that patience that he has, and then he's able to get skinny through it. Like that is how you run the damn football.
I feel like that's part of like what you're talking about. I feel like it's part of like what you're talking about earlier of just being a natural running back, like to anticipate that hole being open.
Yeah, just a natural with the ball in his hands, and I guess I didn't know he had 1,400 yards in college like every single year, so it makes sense to me. All right, so this play was a little interesting for me here. So this is kind of a play like I kind of feel like he made a little bit of mistake. So he's coming out here on the toss, right? And you kind of see right here. I'll stop it right here. You kind of already see it here, right? He has this opening right here. If he just keeps going this way, you see the leverage that Glaze has right here. He has a good leverage. So if he just keeps going that way, I think it could have been a bigger play, right? But maybe he thought that he was going to get cut inside and Bolton was not going to just run over Glaze here. But even if Bolton runs over Glaze and he's going this way, that means that he could still get some big yards there. And that's why I think he got a little stuff there. So on the tosses, it was a little bit where I think he's a better. I would say that he's a better like inside the tackle type of runner, right? So that's how I feel about it. Yeah, I mean that's really the only bad run he had all game, guys. So that's all you're getting. All right, so here, all right, let's get to Aidan O'Connell. All right, so we'll get to Aidan O'Connell here. So we're gonna start off, with all the deep passes that he hit because I think that was the biggest part of the game, and then we'll get to some of the misses that he had a little bit. So of course, this is a Air Coryell special here. You already know what this is going to be, Matt. What is this going to be? What do you think this is?
I'm gonna guess dagger.
No, it's 989.
So
excuse my terrible hands here, guys. I can't draw straight lines, but you get the post here, and then of course you get the little 9 right here from Tucker. So we're getting all those routes there, right? So boom here, and what I like about this one, so we'll take it back a little bit. So you see, I mean, they're in cover 6 because you got you're gonna have what is it? Quarter, half, right? So you got quarters over here, half over here, right? And then what I like though is you see this guy right here, bro. He is looking here, right? He's looking inside here, and this guy's playing cover 2. So this is going to be wide open all over here, right? That's going to be wide open. And O'Connell does a great job of seeing that. Of course, this could have been a better throw. I know, for the O'Connell haters, you're like, yeah, that could have been a touchdown. I agree with you, but still, I like the way he saw this. Right, he saw that. Great read. Great throw.
Take that with the quarterback play we've gotten for the majority of the year.
For sure. Yeah. And like I said, this look at this block by Abdullah. It's a great block by Abdullah. Just blocking with your back, Abdullah. Gave him plenty of time. Little booty block there. Big play. All right, so this is my favorite throw of O'Connell for the game because this is a fantastic throw. So on this one, you're just getting this basically a corner route here from my man Jacoby Myers here. He's gonna get that kind of a sail route, but you get a little hitch route here from Tucker off this little motion, kind of rounds it out a little bit. But what I like about this one, I mean, this is not open. All right, this is not open at all. Okay, and I think this guy's trying to bait him into this throw a little bit. You kind of can see it. He's trying to bait him into it. You see how he flips right there. But if you're looking at this, I mean, he's not open. This is not open right here, right? I mean, this is not anything you would think is open, but then he throws it back shoulder. Somebody tried to tell me that this isn't a back shoulder throw, and I'm like, come on, bro. Like, you're just a hater. Like, that is a back shoulder throw. That is a damn good one. That is how you want it to look there, like that is perfect. And you see like how the line was working. I mean, this is pure drop back. I mean, there is nobody around him. They got double teams on Chris Jones. Everybody's working. Nobody's winning. Plenty of time there. Perfect. That is back shoulder, guys. That's a great throw. It's a great throw. All right. So this one, this play right here, I really like this one. So on this one, what you're getting with this concept is you're gonna get a drive concept, right? So you're gonna get a little drag here, right? And then you're gonna get a dig here from Jacoby Myers. That's a drive concept, but then you're also to get the go route or the wheel route, whatever you want to call it, from Brock Bowers. So there's a lot of options here for O'Connell, right? And he could high low it, or he could take, if he got 1-on-1, he could take the 1-on-1 there, right? So you see it here, boom, right? Kind of opens up to Michael's Mayer's side, but what you can see here, I mean, they're in a weird coverage here because it looks like they're playing like quarters, but they got like a man lock, right? They got a man lock on Brock Bowers. So McDuffie he's on man, right? Because you see this dude, he's not double teaming Bowers. He's basically, since it is a shallow here from Tucker, he's letting him go, right? You see his eyes right there. His eyes are on Tucker, but there's a 1-on-1 right there. And it's a great throw here. Because, I mean, he's holding his hand. So that's why I say it's a great throw, because he would have got 2 hands on it, but he caught it anyways. Pass interference. So you see here, and like I said, great pass protection once again. Ain't nobody around him. Look at that clean pocket. And he had a really good game under pressure too. I think he was 8 for 11 under pressure or something like that.
Good.
Yeah, so he had a good game under pressure too. All right, so I really like this concept as well. All right, we're getting play action, we're getting double post here. Right, so on this one, we're getting post route here from Bowers, and then we're getting a post route here from Tucker. All right, so and then one key part of this route is this little hitch route from Justin Shorter on the other side. So this is 13 personnel, which I really liked about this too. So you get this 13 personnel look here. So boom, play action. And one thing you want to notice here is this guy right here, right? This guy right here. His eyes are watching O'Connell. You see O'Connell's holding his eyes here, which I think is a great job, because what that does, it keeps this part of the field wide open right here, this part of the field. So, you know what I'm saying? And that opens it up for Brock Bowers for him to make this throw, which you see how he threw this ball before he was even out of the break too. Watch it, time it up. That ball's already out. He's not even out of his break yet. And you see, like I said, this route here, right here, this kind of holds, right? This right here holds this corner, so he can't go this way. He can't go this way with Bowers, because he has to watch Justin Shorter here, right? So that's why I really like this concept, because what the Chiefs like to do, it definitely held a lot of these guys, right? And that created that opening, and then a dime. Because if he missed that throw at all, it would have been a pick. That's what I was
Beautiful.
It's a great throw. To watch one more time here, play action. Like I said, great protection once again. And I want you to watch his eyes. Watch his eyes. His eyes are he's straight ahead here, right? And then he just at the last second he takes it there, boom, throws it. That's kind of why he threw a little bit off platform there, because he had to hold that safety. That was a great job by O'Connell. It's a great quarterback play right there. All right, so here's the one to Tucker here, which I like. I really like this concept, because I haven't really seen anything like this in the NFL that much. Because what you're getting is you're gonna get this go route here. Right, boom. But you also get crossers from Bowers. Okay, I messed that up. That's an ugly guy. Sorry. I'm getting used to this. Bowers, right? So you're getting crossers there from you got the go route, you get crossers. Boom. And like I said, because Brock Bowers is wide open. Okay. I mean, this is aggressive. I love this play call. Because let's say he had time, because it's a full-on blitz. Bowers is wide open. That's an awesome play call against the blitz too. And then, but O'Connell just throws it as far as he can because he's about to get hit. He just threw it as far as he could. And Justin Reed, which I love, which I didn't even point out, is that how you got the one-on-one with Dre Tucker at a safety. That's Scott Turner. This is a lot of this, as you're noticing, is Scott Turner.
Great play design.
Yeah, because he got that one-on-one there with Tucker, and then you see O'Connell from this side. Boom. And then, he's got the blitz coming. Meredith actually loses his time here, but he just chucks it under pressure. Dime. That's what you like to see there. All right, so on this one, this is the last throwdown field that we got from O'Connell here that I really like. So this one is just pure 4 verts, right? And they got a blitz coming, and there's a free runner here, right? And I'll show it from the backside, but it's just a dime right there too, on the money anticipation. Like it just doesn't get too much better than that, guys. He that's what I'm saying. Like this game, like he played pretty damn well. Yeah, that's why the guys online on Twitter just slandering him. Just here's O'Connell, his worst pass of the game, because he's scared. He scared him. This is scary. All right, so here's a little bit some of the issues with O'Connell here. So on this concept, so basically it's drive again, but we got to mesh with it. So let me bring it back. I'm gonna try to speed this up a little bit. So boom, get the mesh, and then we get the little dig concept here. Like that's ugly, but here we go. Boom, and what I like about this one is O'Connell reads this so well, which just pisses me off about this throw. Is that okay? You want to go to the mesh? It's not there. I got the dig right behind it. Look at this big play. I got this whole area right here. Great read, O'Connell, and he just throws this terrible pass. Like what?
Yeah, this throw scared me because he brings Nick Bolton back into it.
like, and you're gonna watch O'Connell after he throws this ball. Like, it's just say, like, okay, it's not there. Boom. Look at the great read, and he doesn't set his feet here, which I think is, and you see him watch him throw. Watch him hold his head after that. He's just like, he just. You couldn't believe it.
I could hear the sigh from here.
Yeah, in this play action, he just missed this one. That's what I'm talking about. These intermediate passes give him some issues for some reason. I don't know what it is. Him driving these intermediate passes across the field. I mean, the other one is like he didn't really set his feet. So you see this one, this one, you kind of can see it here too. His feet aren't pointed towards the target a little bit. You can see maybe a little bit there, but maybe you just wanted that a little bit cleaner.
I feel like he didn't finish that either.
Yeah. So here's the big sack here. So this one, so this concept was actually a pretty cool concept. So basically, what you're gonna get here is you're gonna get basically Terrence Marshall. He's gonna be doing kind of a straight run here, but you're gonna get like a pick route here from Tucker, but you're also to get this post route from Myers. Okay, and on the backside, you're gonna get the same thing. You get kind of like a pick route here, and then you get an in and out route, right, from Abdullah. Okay, so this is two-sided, right? Two-sided play on this one. So here, all right, so what is tricky about this one? So you see O'Connell, he's looking this way, right? But what you see is Bolton here. Just, you guys don't see Bolton. Here's Bolton, right? There's Bolton right there. I know it's a terrible circle, guys. I know. You can make the jokes in the comments. So what you see there is Bolton. He is eyeing Jacoby Myers. So O'Connell's like, okay, he's being double teamed because you see the safety right here. He's looking at Myers too. Double team. I'm going to look it off. Okay. All right. It's not there. I'm going to come to this side. Now, you see there's a double team over here. You see he is basically keying on Abdullah. So when Abdullah comes inside here on this route, it's not going to be there, right? So you already see that. But the part that's going to upset you is that when Terrence Marshall keeps going this way, is that Jacoby Myers is wide open because Bolton looks it off. But O'Connell already looked to the side. He assumed the double team. He doesn't look back. Instead, he kind of just runs backwards, which is like his fatal flaw is his running backwards thing. You're not fast enough for it. Like if he has a chance to step up here, he can make a play and maybe hit Myers. Because this really is his fatal flaw, is this running backwards thing.
Yeah.
because you even watch it, you can watch it like watch his eyes here. See how he's looking, but you see Bolton. That's a double team, right? Like so, you're like, okay, that's natural. He's gonna come off it. Boom. All right, it's not there. But if he just like slid here and then maybe slid up a little bit, I'm being a little nitpicky, but he kind of just gave the sack up, So yeah, but I thought he played pretty
Yeah.
well. McCormick played pretty well. O'Connell saw the field really well too. So yeah, it was working out pretty well. Oh, you didn't see the drawings on the screen? Oh man,
No, I mean, I don't know if it showed up on your end, but yeah, when you were
it was
talking
showing
about
up on mine, but it was if it's not showing up on stream, guys, it's whatever. Anyways, I tried the drawings, guys, but anyways, we'll figure that out later.
yeah,
But I did. What was I saying? So yeah, but O'Connell played pretty well. Some of those other plays that were kind of mixed in there, it's just a lot of short passes and stuff like that. But I thought he played really well. And then Sincere McCormick played really well too. So I really was excited to see how he played. So and the offensive line played well too, man. They're pretty damn good. So yeah, all right. You guys can see my drawings on the screen. It's all right. If we didn't see it, we'll see. We'll see when I record it. Let's see what happens. But yeah, I tried it. It was working for BD, man. I don't know. I wasn't working for me. I had to figure that out. I don't know what he was using.
yeah.
Anyways,
You got to get the tech guy on it.
Yeah, you got to get the tech guy on it, man. I was try to do this new tech, and it didn't even work. But it's all right. It's okay. But yeah, overall, so what'd you think, man? What'd you think?
I mean, I think we talked about it in the instant reaction. If Aidan O'Connell, again, consistency's been the issue for him in the past, so we need to see it. We need to see it to believe it. But if he plays like he did, like they're not going to be picking top 5. I don't think they're going to win a couple more of these ball games. I mean, they got the Bucks this week. Bucks didn't look that good last week against the Panthers. I mean, I still like them and win. The Falcons, who have been fading, obviously the Jags, who are awful, and the Saints, who have been pretty bad this year. Like those are winnable games if O'Connell can continue to play the way he did. And he might end up taking them out of the range and get a quarterback again this year because, again, this class isn't that great. So I think if he continues to play that well, like he might force the Raiders' hand a little bit again and end up backing into the job again, because that was pretty impressive. Like, and again, I know the intermediate throws weren't good, and that stood out even live. But at the same time, I think he had more positive plays and more positive throws than he had bad ones, where he put the Raiders in a position to win the game. Like, it was not his fault that they didn't beat the Chiefs, who are one of the better teams in the league. So good showing from him. And again, McCormick, like, I think you got to learn your lesson a little bit from last year from Zamir White in that end of season stretch, where I think you still go after getting another running back to at least bring in some competition or more competition. But tell you what, man, the way he's played in the last couple of weeks, and if he can keep this going to finish the season, he might be a little diamond in the rough and someone that can be their running back moving forward.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. All right. So, yeah, like, with Aiden, give it back to Aiden. With Aiden, it was just, him playing under pressure really well and him having that deep ball. I don't know how sustainable that is. I mean, being 5 for 6, I mean, that was a pretty special game for him throwing the ball deep, because that always was a problem for him too. So you just got to get more consistent. I think he's got to get a little bit on page with some of these guys on intermediate level, but it's there. So we just got to see him kind of get better there. But we'll see. But yeah, if he plays like this and they run the ball like this and they play action like that, yeah, guys, they could beat the Bucks. The Bucks aren't very good on defense.
No.
We'll see how they do on defense themselves, stopping the Bucks. But
Also true.
Yeah, but if he plays like that, he plays well. He plays well enough for them to win. Then, I mean, he played well enough for them to win this game. He got them down to the 30, and then they had that issue with the snap. I mean, like I said, and if Carlson makes 2 field goals, this is a totally different game. So
Carlson makes 1.
Yeah, right. I mean, right. I mean, that's the big part of it. So, but yeah. Any last thoughts, Matt? Before we get out of here.
Again, I mean, finishing the year, looking for those young guys to step up, and seeing that from a little bit. But obviously, just want to see some, or would like to see some W's as far as the morale goes on the team. But again, seeing the young guys step up, which is a good sign for where the Raiders are at this point in the year. So, other than that, don't have much.
All right, man. Yeah. All right, we're out here, guys. So hit the subscribe button, subscribe. Hope you guys like this episode, and appreciate it. And then, hit the subscribe button if you're a newbie here. And then, of course, I'm gonna be doing some other quarterbacks. I'm trying to decide if I should even do other quarterbacks because or like just do some more Shadur Sanders or something. I guess because I could do like Drew Aller or something. But like, are they gonna pick Drew Aller? I might do
We'll
Drew
see.
Aller if they win a couple games or somebody like
See.
that, right? We'll see. But if they stay at 2, I'm gonna stick to the 2 pretty consensus. We'll see how the NFL feels with Carson Beck still having a playoff run in there. But maybe I'll do some Carson Beck this week. Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Yeah. Got conference championship weekend this weekend, so
Yeah.
pay attention. Might got to watch all the games and see all these guys. See if anybody boosts their stock because the NFL does love how guys perform at big games. We know that.
Yeah, exactly. Also, we're doing Friday Night Live. We'll be going over those games with gambling. So, maybe make sure to watch that. So, but we are out of here. Hit subscribe. All right, right there, peace.